EA Sports. It's in the game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. We are at level 334. I am Big L, and with me, I have, as always, Wildwest 08. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Whoa. Checking guys, me or guys, the audience? Talking to the audience?
Everyone that
is
listens.
Listening. All right. Last week we had 333 from Elroy and X the Hero. And then you and Kush filled in admirably during my Christmas foray into Sleepyland. It's been a busy couple of months.
Yeah, how was your Christmas?
Oh, it feels like so long ago.
It does, doesn't it?
It was a month ago. The ball just dropped. What's going on? Everything was good. Thanks for asking. And glad it's over. The whole family, except for me, got sick somehow. All three of them got the norovirus.
Yeah.
And I somehow stayed away from it. But this is the new hotness. The new hotness is this. Everyone's getting sick. Everyone's got a cold. Everyone's got the flu. So what better way to combat that than by going under the covers and playing some video games?
Before we do that, I got to ask, as a New Yorker, is the ball drop a big thing for y'all over there? I actually never really talked to someone from New York about it. So.
Well, it is a big thing, yes, but I've never done it. My wife has done it. It was before we met, so she did it in like the late 90s.
Okay.
And all I know is that once you get your spot, you are there for hours and hours. You cannot leave. You cannot go to the bathroom. You cannot find food or drink. I know that people wear diapers now and do whatever they got to do. I don't quite understand it myself, especially because it's freezing.
Yeah.
But it's a type of thing that you can say you did once, I guess, and the guy did that once. And never again. I have no interest in it myself. We had a nice evening at home. We actually watched Moana, and then we went to the theater to watch Moana 2. So we did a back-to-back on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
That's what we did. And then we got home, and I think we played a board game or something like that so we wouldn't fall asleep. And then we made it to midnight. The kids made it to midnight, and then they went to bed, and yeah. And Christmas was like the week before that. All kinds of craziness. I'm just ready for Thanksgiving to come back around again. That's my favorite.
Got a ways to go there, pal.
I don't know, man. 10 months. That's it. Only 10 months. By that time, it'll be holiday season for the new Xbox, right? Definitely having a new Xbox launch for sure.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
A Series Elemental P. Like, I'm ready. Can't have Nintendo have all the glory. So I know that we asked our patrons what their favorite games were of 2024. I appreciate you waiting for me. That was very nice. So let's get to that.
Perfect.
We asked the patrons, what's your favorite game you played in 2024 and why? And are you proud of any achievements? And the game doesn't have had to come out in 2024 for the purposes of this question. Because if you're like us, you play backlog and not necessarily the new games. Unless you're Akush, who plays every single game that enters Game Pass immediately and gets like 5 Bing points from it and then moves on. But I'm curious to see the answers. I will go first and read from longtime listener and sometimes provider of content, Vulgar Latin. He says Stardew Valley. It's been one of my favorite games for a long time. This time I decided to do a 100% run. I fished all the fish, shipped all items, crafted all the craftables, and became best friends with everyone in the valley. I'm proud of doing all that, especially the perfection achievement tied to getting 100% in the game. I still have some achievements left, including another minor playthrough, but I'm hoping I can get that completed this year. Now, Stardew Valley is one of those games I would love to play, but I feel like it would just overtake life, and I'm pretty sure that happened to Volgar, knowing him the way I do. I know they added co-op a little while ago, and I'm curious how that works with achievements. If anyone has any info on that, please let me know. Any thoughts on that?
Well, when you were reading the answer, my first thought is this kind of sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. I fished all the fish, shipped all the items. Just kind of sounded like that, which he might have been going for. Who knows? Yeah, I think when he put that out, I replied that I bought that game for the Switch when I was going on vacation one time. And I played it a lot, but I just could not. I mean, it seems like a game that I would really love, but I just could not get into it. So I'm glad he did. It looks like a fun game. It sounds like a fun game. I probably put maybe 15, 20 hours into it, setting up my stuff, and I just could not get started with it. So I have not gone back to it since. So that's kind of where I've been at.
I think it has split screen co-op too.
Yeah, they added co-op with one of the latest updates, and I think he's done with the updates now and moving on to his next game.
If you get your 472 kids to help you, though, it should be pretty quick to fish all the fish. No?
That's not their kind of game, so.
Well, you make them play it, and then, otherwise they don't get dessert or something like that. Does that still work?
It does for other things, but I'm not going to withhold dessert for not playing a video game. My wife would not like that at all.
My wife. All right. Thank you, Vulgar. Wheezy Fuzz says, I played Dredge last year and really enjoyed it. Spooky vibes that didn't ever seem too overwhelming. It had an interesting twist in the story and had a good achievement list as well. I am not familiar with Dredge. Are you?
Sure you were. Weren't you on the panel when Rocker talked about it? I'm pretty sure you were.
Who?
It looks like a fun game. I have not bought it yet or played it yet, but I will get around to it eventually because I've heard only good things about it.
Last time I recorded with Rocker, I think the 360 came out, so I don't know. Don't forget, I'm old. I forget. If you talked about it, I apologize. Dredging up some bad memories for me. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's getting edited out.
Please. No one will never know. Fug chimed in saying, I really enjoyed Dredge as well. Was it? Huh. This I know. I started Deep Rock Galactic with my Sunday night crew in November and have already put in well over 100 hours. It's just a me game. You can make the difficulty almost anything you want, so people of any skill level can enjoy it. Something enjoyable and calming about just harvesting whatever the mission tells you to harvest while surviving and finding your way around in the caves. All right, I did pay enough attention to know that Kush talked about this game with you, and I know that's his 4-player game that he's playing with his crew. I don't know why they pick games that are 5 million hours, but that's what they like to do. With that said,
whatever you like.
I guess the only worry is if it leaves Game Pass, then everyone has to buy it. And I guess you cross that bridge when you get there.
The game's been on Game Pass for like 5 years, I think. And I think he said it goes down to $10, so not too expensive if you
That's fair.
miss out.
That's true. That's a lot of money, my friend. Hawkeye Barry says, A Plague Tale Requiem was my favorite game of 2024. I enjoyed the first game, but didn't think it was amazing. However, everything with the sequel was an improvement. You can choose to be combative or stealthy going through sections, and I really enjoyed the story. Not a perfect game, but once I got to the credits, I thought to myself, that was so much fun. I think that's what he's trying to say anyway. It's an interesting point when you get to the credits and you're like, huh, did I like this? Definitely do that with movies.
I do that with games too. When I'm done, I'm like, huh. You kind of feel like you get the overall total picture of the game, and you can sit down and think, how it went for you.
Yeah. You don't have the same first thought that everyone else has. Start,
Something
manage
else.
games and apps, and uninstall. That's what I think.
It depends on the game.
Well, I'm glad you liked A Plague Tale Requiem.
It was a good one.
And I will read this last patron response, and then it's your turn, buddy.
All
This
right.
is Primhole, who says Liza P. Huh. I never heard of that one either. He says, I played a little Dark Souls forever ago, but largely ignored these Souls-like games. I loved my time with this title despite getting frustrated often by the challenge that is inherent to the type of game. So despite those moments of frustration, the elation from overcoming those obstacles was outstanding. I completed the game, requiring 2 playthroughs, one fresh, then New Game Plus. The hub and spoke design worked extremely well to mix up the atmosphere and aesthetic. The creature design was super cool. The bosses were amazing, and the combat was incredible. It felt great to play and rewarded my time invested. I also enjoyed the alternate take on Pinocchio, and the story was completely serviceable. Well, kudos to you, Freemhole, for finishing that one. I definitely got overwhelmed immediately. That was my first ever Souls game, and it's on my tag. I guess I should get back to it at some point and tough it out. If there's anything I know about you, Freem, what's a nice way of putting this? If you can do it, I could probably do it. That's the nice way I'm saying it. So, but yeah, you tend to play fewer games and get stubborn and finish them. So that's cool. I would like to play that a little more. Any other thoughts on that? Otherwise, you can move on.
Nope, I have not done Liza P. I mean, in a world where I could play video games all the time, I would consider doing that, but nothing for me right now. As I get started to read my patron responses, if you haven't really heard, I probably don't sound too great either. I'm not feeling very good, so hopefully it doesn't distract too much, but I just wanted to say that as I start talking a little bit more.
Well, you're a big doctor. Does that, like, if someone listens to the podcast, can they get sick?
No. Germs aren't going to travel through all the electronics to get there. No. All right. Blitzen on Ice says,
oh, boy.
One of my favorite games of last year was Pentiment. It's a really well-written and cleverly presented historical adventure. The historical accuracy is spot on, but it's not dry and boring, as the characters and situations are really interesting and full of personality and humor. It ticked all my boxes. It ticked them hard.
Huh.
I mean, what you do in your own time about ticking is your own time there, Chewy.
That's such. Was that the violent? No,
that was the one I did a showcase on it. It's really good game. I enjoyed it a lot more. I started it for Xbox Quest, and I really liked it a lot. It was definitely one that was very surprising for me. Walk of Pale.
What I'm thinking of.
No, you're probably thinking of something else.
Yeah, that crazy game where you're chick with the sword, and you go around killing everybody. And it was a point and click that was in Game Pass. It left or something like that.
No. Wakapale said, in a year of mostly baby games, I managed to play a few great games. Perfect Dark remains fantastic and is still a two-of-a-kind first-person shooter after all these years, the other being GoldenEye. The Perfect Dark reboot is one of the few new releases I'm looking forward to, but I doubt I'll enjoy it as much as this one. Motivated by the server shutdown of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, I completed both mainline games in the series and had a great time with the first one. Catalyst is not bad, but has worse level design than its predecessor. My most satisfying completion last year was the Demonic Apocalypse co-op, third-person, tower defense Fortnite. Congratulations on that, because we know that takes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds upon hundreds of hours of dedication, so congrats on that. And I agree with you that GoldenEye and Perfect Dark are one of a kind, two of a kind, whatever you want to say. Those are just amazing games, such great memories to look back on with friends and family.
I agree that Fortnite is demonic.
But all right, we are moving on to a new response from a new patron, Kushmoose. Have we heard of this guy before? If not, welcome to the show. If I legit could only pick one, which, check the tape, there's about 20 of them if you look for last year, I'd have to say Kena Bridge of Spirits. I had high hopes for this game, and despite that, it still did a fantastic job of pulling me in and keeping me engaged with top-tier graphics, exploration, puzzles, and combat. For a $40 title, this one knocks it out of the park. I did have to turn down the difficulty on one or two bosses so as to not ruin the fun challenge balance for myself. Honorable mention to Mafia Definitive Edition, Botany Manor, While the Iron's Hot, and of course, Animal Well. Because let's face it, we know there's 20 Game of the Year candidates for you.
At least.
At least. Expovos says, if only I wrote a blog about this, which I'm guessing he did, so check it out. Fortunately for you guys, my blog missed Cyberpunk 2077, which was a 2024 start and complete. It's pretty solid. I probably liked Hades better, but Hades gets the love, and Monster Train made the blog top spot, but that was basically 30 minutes of 2024.
Huh.
I will say Cyberpunk is very good and definitely worth it to check out. I am waiting for that DLC to hit the sweet spot since I got so much backlog to do. Once it does, I will pick it up and play it and share my thoughts on that in the future. Retstack says, it's been a slow year for me, but lately I've been having fun playing the Expeditions and No Man's Sky. There's just something fun about following the quest lines that's relaxing for me. Stardew Valley remains a favorite, and I had a lot of fun with Brotato. It just made me laugh, some of the crazy get-ups you get into. There's another one for Stardew Valley. For Brotato is not too bad.
She seems to enjoy a certain type of game.
I gotta check out No Man's Sky. Everyone keeps telling me I'm gonna like it, so I gotta check it out sometime. All right, and our last patron response is from Carpe Adam. My favorite game of 2024 was, of course, Rocket League. It's been mostly all I played the last 6 months or so. It's just an easy game to pick up and play without having to focus on a story or solve any complex puzzles. Things I usually love, but work-life balance really burned me out last year. I do plan to finally get to Jedi Survivor and Indie in 2025, so I imagine one of them could make the spot next year. The other game I really loved in 2024 was Brotato. Again, just really simple to pick up and play. It did get old as I went for the completion, but most of the time with it was positive. And the only one to actually write in a response to their favorite achievement was Carpe Adam, and he is most proud of No Stranger to Danger and Max the Curse of Brotherhood. It's not the hardest achievement, he said, I've ever unlocked, but it's somewhat challenging. The main reason I'm proud of it is because it was the final achievement I unlocked for the completion. This was one of the first games I played when I got my Xbox One in 2015, so to finally go back and 100% this game that I really enjoyed back then was a great feeling. Maybe Quantum Break will make this list next year, as I'm just one achievement away from that completion. We shall see.
All right, Adam. I like it. Thanks for the thorough write-up. I think I've had Max the Curse of Brotherhood installed for a decade now. Haven't started.
I did one of the stacks. I think I did the one stack. I don't think I did the 360 stack or the arcade stack.
Ooh.
But yeah, thanks to all the patrons for your responses. We really appreciate them. It's been great to talk about them.
Yes, thank you, patrons. What I was trying to say is that I think I forget what it was. Max the Curse of Brotherhood had some like unreleased version that was floating around, or like
isn't it the demo that had something?
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to look for it. Oh, it was 360 review achievements.
Oh, was that it?
The title is not considered a game and is therefore excluded from played completed game counts. All right, never mind. Interesting, but you get the gamer score for it if you did it. And I have at least 13 friends that have that in their possession somehow.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Including that new patron, Kush Moose. All right. Well, thank you, patrons. Now it's our turn to tell you what we enjoyed playing in 2024. Wildwest, you can go first.
All right. I look at a few different things when I'm creating my list, and I will probably do a blog here in a little bit, as I missed last year, and Elle keeps telling me I need to do it, so I'm going to do my blog for last year.
Do it.
So to start it off, I usually do the worst games of 2024 for me. Borderlands 3, it was just, I think Borderlands has lost its magic for me. It's just not as, I had a friend that wanted to play and do some stuff with it, so I did it. Just not as fun. McPixel 3, I know Kush is going to, throw out his computer after hearing me say that, but
wow.
I guess the only saving grace is that my kids really enjoyed the humor with it, because usually I was doing it for those daily achievement things. Excuse me. So they had a lot of fun with it, but other than that, I just did not like it. It just, I guess, wasn't for me. And the last one on my top 3 worst games was Close to the Sun. It was a Game Pass game. The only saving grace is that you could do the achievements with some console command things. The game was glitchy, and I kept dying in places when I would try to go, and it would not register the jumping or anything. So I just not a good game. Next on my list is underrated games. So these are kind of games that I feel don't get as much hype as they should. Hellblade 2, I did that I played with the TA playlist for I think it was September, October. I had a lot of fun with it. I really like those games. They're very well made. Yes, they're a little slow and everything, but I enjoyed it. I think it got a lot of hate just because of how quick it was and not as much combat or other stuff like an Assassin's Creed game. But I really enjoyed Hellblade 2. I'm going to say Pentiment as well as what Chewy said. I think that it's kind of a quirky little game that, since it's on Game Pass, everyone should check out. It's pretty fun. You can kind of it saves very often, so you can kind of just pick it up and play as you want to. And then for the last underrated game that I think didn't get as much love was Planet Coaster. I had a lot of fun with that game. It reminded me of all the roller coaster tycoon days from my childhood. So it was a lot of fun playing it. And then, so best games of 2024. Number 3 for me was Dragon Age Inquisition. That was also kind of on my underrated list because I feel like Dragon Age games have kind of gotten a bad rap recently, with 2 coming out and was not very good. And then I think people just kind of assumed 3 was not very good either. But I had a lot of fun playing through it this year, and I kept going back to it and playing other quests and everything that weren't for achievements because I just had a lot of fun with it. The world was very well made. I thought the achievements were very fair. The DLC was fun. So overall, very good game. Number 2, Kush paid me $50 to put Hogwarts Legacy on here. So I did. I was just joking. Hogwarts Legacy, not a huge fan of the Harry Potter stuff, but I am an RPG fan, and they did a great job with Hogwarts Legacy. I enjoyed the castle. I enjoyed the grounds that you got to fly around on with the broomstick. The combat was nice. It was just overall a fun game. My daughter's had a lot of fun with it this year. So that's my number two spot. With number one, as you guessed it from before, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Just an amazing game. Probably one of my most favorite games in the last 5-10 years that Xbox has put out. I had an absolute blast with it. If you have not played it, go play it. Go have fun with it. It's an amazing game. They just hit it out of the park with that one. And I wish they would have more commercials and advertising for it because it needs to get played. More people need to play it.
That's a very good list that you had. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So remember we talked earlier about how we don't necessarily play games that came out in 2024?
Yeah, you can't put Mario on there from 1980s.
Damn it. Well, I do want to give you a minor trivia question. I want you to guess how many games I started that came out in 2024.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to put 4.
That's not a bad guess. The answer is 8.
Okay.
And only one of them is a baby game. I was looking back at my 2024, and I played a lot of bad baby games. So I've been trying to not do that. Been trying to clean up a lot. That's what I've been focusing on lately. So my favorite games of 2024, I'm going to pick all the ones that did come out in 2024.
Okay.
And they are Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. Very enjoyable. Twin stick shooter. Is it still on Game Pass? Yes, it is. I would definitely fire that up. You don't have to have played the first game, but it does help. Great humor, and it's an easy completion if you use accessibility. There was an easy completion without accessibility, but it's even easier with all the cheats. I think Michelle mentioned this one, MLB The Show 24. These games keep getting better and better.
I would agree.
And I wish I had the time that I did when I was little. I used to play Tecmo Super Bowl and Baseball Stars, and I would do full seasons and sit there and play them all, but definitely don't do that now. It's almost a pity when the achievement lists don't make you do them. We go out of our way to shortcut all the achievements. Let's sim all the games. So I had a really good time playing games with my daughter this year, which is unusual because I usually play with my son. And the 2 games I played with her are Game Pass games. The first one is Botany Manor, which is a game that I never would think I would like, but I did. It is a plant simulator. I don't even know what you would say it is, but you go around and you find clues. And so it's a puzzle game, but you're walking around trying to make plants grow, basically. And I played that with my daughter. And the other game I played with my daughter that Kush will put in his game of the year is A Little to the Left. So this is another Game Pass game. And this one's mostly famous for having the 100 daily achievements, the daily tidies that Freem keeps warning everyone to get started on because this came out February 15th. So, that's pretty close now. So I actually bought the DLCs, have done most of it. So if we do get that warning it's leaving, we'll have to finish that up. I have been at day 99 of the daily tidies for a while because I wanted that to be my final achievement in the game. And as it turns out, that showed up on my R2DL this month. So hopefully next time you hear, I will have this game completed.
That's a good
What
list
am I
you got there.
forgetting? Yeah, not a lot of these are world beaters. No 100-hour games like you like. But
I had MLB The Show on my short list for best of 24, but those other games were a lot better for me. But I do agree, it was a really fun game.
Yeah. All right, I guess that's really it.
Yeah, I guess
I do have one fun. Yeah,
that kind of puts a wrap on 2024.
And then 2 of my 8 games started are old games that are just ported over. So one is Doom 1 and Doom 2, or Doom 2, and then Final Fantasy 1. So 2 of the 8 games were those, and I enjoyed playing those.
That's what it's about.
This is, yeah. I'm really trying to enjoy myself and not do too many stupid things, although I did do something stupid that we'll talk about later. So, actually, I wanted to tell a quick achievement story or two. So one of them is, are you familiar with the Keflings games?
Yep, I have both of them completed.
Okay. So they made a Windows version, a World of Keflings. And the achievement for participating in 60 Kefling stories does not like to pop when it's supposed to. It is flagged as buggy on TA. And I played this game in 2021-ish on an old Surface. The achievement did not pop, and I kind of put it away. Then I just recently, I did a little more research because I was worried, because I see on TA every day there's some new Win 8 game or another going down and unable to get achievements anymore. So unfortunately, I lost the chance to get some completions. I think one of them was like Rayman Fiesta Run or something like that. These things just went down without warning. So I was very worried because I had one achievement left. And this one in particular was annoying because this last achievement is worth 13 gamer score. So normally, I don't care if what my gamer score ends in, but I do like to round it out when I'm going to hit a milestone or something like that. I haven't even really looked at my gamer score since I hit 1 million, but still, I wanted to get this one knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to boot up my Surface, and sure enough, it doesn't work. And I don't know if there's any way to get a save file from a computer for these type of things, but that's okay. I was able to find it in my download history on my new laptop, and I played the entire game over. And I played it over, and in doing my research for Keflings, I found that it is buggy for people, but if you start the game a second time, it remembers how many stories you've participated in, and will pop the second time. So with that knowledge, I was not worried, and I finished it one time. It did not pop, and then I started a second game, and it popped within like 10 minutes. So that's done. So Keflings is an interesting one because it's on Xbox 360, but the Windows one, I actually played using a standard mouse, and I enjoyed doing that. No touchscreen, no trackpad, a standard mouse. And it was quite relaxing and enjoyable. And I wish we had a new Keflings game, preferably in co-op. That would be awesome. I hope that was an enjoyable story. The moral of the story is do your Windows 8 games if you're worried, because I think we're going to be getting hit real soon. Are you falling asleep there, thinking about kicking some Keflings?
That was always fun. I like those games.
I didn't know you liked simulation games. That's something new I learned about you.
Lies, all lies. And if it is, then it means you're sleeping when I'm talking before.
And I like when you make Koosh cry when you tell him about simulation games.
Management games. He's got to get some
Yes.
sleep sometimes. He can't be playing games at 3 a.m. with no consequence. So I got to give him a management game or story to help him give a little nap.
Napping sounds good. All right. So, game showcase. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first? I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, I can go. You just gave a story, so I'll go first so you can get a drink or something. So I am still going, not that kind of drink. I'm still going full bore in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I am not quite ready to do a finishing segment on it yet. I still haven't finished the main game, nor have I really started any of the DLCs yet either. So I was looking at what kind of stuff I had, and my kids got me the new college football game, EA Sports College Football 25 for Christmas. So I thought I'd boot that up and play some of that for a little bit and kind of see how it was. And I'm assuming you played some of these games back in the day, correct? You're a big guy playing sports games.
I played Madden.
You played Madden? You didn't play any of the college football games?
No.
Really?
Never. That's, yeah, we have enough pro football teams that we don't bother with that, okay? No, I've never played a college football game.
Because some of these games, like you'll see some people on the internet and they'll be playing dynasties for 30 years, like legit, not simming games.
Oh, this is the first one in a while, right?
This is because they had a big lawsuit that started the whole name, image, and likeness thing going for the college athletes. So EA Sports canceled any future iterations of that because they were part of that lawsuit and they didn't obviously want to have to pay, which I think they did pay some money anyways. I don't really know what I didn't read the fine print on some of that stuff. But anyways, they had a lawsuit going, so they stopped making those games. But they did come to an agreement with all that stuff. From what I remember, I want to say that they had to reach out, they reached out to all the schools. They got permission for all the stuff. And then they had to go, each of their teams were in charge of filing the stuff in response to all the players if they wanted to be a part of the game or not. And I believe if you were a part of the game, that you got, I want to say like $400 or $500 and a free copy of the game to have your image and likeness portrayed in the game. So they came to an agreement there, and we were able to get College Football 25, and it's a fun game. I really have enjoyed playing it. I was not one of the ones that did the 30-year dynasties, but I did plenty of 4 or 5-year dynasties on the different games back in the day. I don't have all the achievements in every college football game, but there are quite a few of them on the 360 that I did complete and had a lot of fun playing with. And this one,
who's your team?
So I usually will play as the USC Trojans, or BYU was my alma mater, so I'll do that as well. One of those teams.
What about brown, yellow?
What about you? If you had to choose one, what would you choose?
I would probably pick Syracuse.
Syracuse?
Yeah.
Not a bad choice.
That's still the orange people.
Yeah, what's the mascot? It's
Back in my day, it was the orange men. Then they became the orange.
Yeah, there's that orange dot.
Is that still the orange?
Yeah, they are. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's a typical college football game. I thought they did a pretty good job with their achievements. I have not gotten all of them. I think I've gotten 3 so far of the. Let me pull it up real fast. I believe I have 4 achievements of the 15, so there's not a lot. But they do a really good job of kind of having you sample the different play styles in the game. Most of them are on the play now mode, which is just, like any kind of football game. You just choose 2 teams, you play the games, you do certain achievements in the game, and they'll get you an achievement for Xbox. I would say that comprises about close to half the list of anything. So you'll have ones like getting a 50-yard touchdown run, an 80-yard passing touchdown, playing one game on Play Now will get you an achievement, forcing a turnover with a unique turnover tradition. So I guess certain schools have a turnover tradition that they'll do. If you watch college football, you kind of know what that is. So
Kick them.
well, the guide said to use Oregon State or the Oregon State Beavers, and their unique one when I did that one today had them pulling a chainsaw out on the sidelines, and I was like, well, who thought that was a good idea to have a chainsaw on the sideline? But they do things differently there in Oregon, so.
Why don't you just use the beaver to cut the tree down? You don't need a chainsaw. Interesting.
That's a lot of those easy ones right there, kind of in the Play Now mode, and then you switch to the Ultimate Team mode, which is just like Madden. If you've seen that over the years, I absolutely despise the MUT is what it's called for Madden. I do not like it. I think it's ruined the games because they used to be pretty fun, like 6 to 10 hour completions. You play for a little bit, have fun, and then when they started putting all their stuff into the MUT stuff, they've turned into these 100-hour games that I just don't really enjoy going for that kind of stuff.
With the cards?
Yep, that's with the cards where you got to do challenges, play games, you get experience points, which allow you to get cards at those points, and then you can buy them if you want to do that. That's where they make a lot of money, is on that stuff. And then you can get players, and then you use those players in your games to play other people, or to help you with the challenges. So they do have that mode, but it's really easy. They have one for let me see what it's called. They have one for basically just opening up the game for that, the Ultimate Team Journey. You'll get an achievement there, and then if you complete 10 challenges in Ultimate Team, you'll get your other achievement, and basically you could just use the tutorials for that and get that achievement. So it doesn't sound very difficult. Another mode that they have is the Dynasty mode, which is very popular. I still see videos on it to this day of Madden, or not Madden, College Football 25. So you can use that mode to unlock achievements like winning the national championship, winning the Heisman, and you can sim through the season if you want to. So those shouldn't take too long if you're just looking to go quickly through and get your achievements. But there is a lot of fun, creating a dynasty and winning championships, 10 years in a row or something like that. So, stuff that's not real, right? Giants aren't winning Super Bowls 10 years in a row.
Oh, come on.
But, and then the last mode they have.
How many?
What's that?
Oh, how many teams are there in the game?
I want to say there's like 134 is the number that's popping up.
Oh, it's like Pokemon almost.
Let's see.
A lot of teams.
Yep. Google says 134. So they just have right now. They just have the Division I teams in there. So they don't have any Division II like the North Dakota States, Montana State places, or teams like that. So they just have all of the big conferences, Notre Dame, a few of those big teams as well. So the last mode they have is Road to the College Football Playoff. So this one has 2 achievements tied to that, I believe. So you have to open again, and once you open up and go through the first few menus, you'll get your achievement. You have to advance to a freshman in that mode, which I don't really know what that entails right now because I haven't played it yet. And then the last one, which I think might be the hardest achievement, is you have to defeat an opponent with a higher tier. So what this is they group the college football teams into different tiers, like your Ohio States, your Alabamas, teams that are really, really good are on your tier 1. Teams like Oklahoma, I'm trying to think of some other ones that I've seen. Those are considered like tier 2 teams. And then you'll have like BYU, Texas Tech. Those are tier 3 teams. So you have to use one of those lower teams to beat a higher team online against another player, a human player. If the player quits out, I've heard on the achievement guide, you can get the achievement. So if you're beating them, 24-7 or something like that, then they quit out, you'll still get the achievement. So, but you have to use one of those lower teams to use one of those lower teams to beat the higher team and get that achievement. So that one might be the most difficult one out of the group, but I'm sure it's not overall not too bad, especially if there's connection issues or something. You might just get lucky and person will quit out and you'll get your achievement there. But overall, the gameplay is really smooth. I haven't had any issues at all. I've just been playing some games, getting some achievements on mostly the play now mode. I have dabbled a little bit in the other stuff just to kind of see what it is, but I've mostly stayed in that, and it's a lot of fun. Over Black Friday stuff, I think it was about $30 on sale, which I think is very good. It's normally $70, which I don't think if they're going to do a yearly iteration of it, I don't think it's worth $70. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I used to buy all the Call of Duties and Madden games right when they came out, but when it's just roster changes every year, it's not worth it. But it's got a good score. It's got a 4.2 on TA right now. Completion estimate of 5 to 6 hours, so it's not going to take you too long. And I'm sure eventually it will come to EA Play. But it's always my daughters, I think, got it for me for Christmas, so I wanted to play it, and they were having a lot of fun with me too, telling me what teams to play as and everything. So definitely worth checking out, especially if you can't wait. That $25 to $30 range, I think, is worth it. Or if not, it'll probably come on to Game Pass here in 5 or 6 more months. So
when they buy you this for Christmas, is this because you hinted at it or have a wish list or because they just out of the blue?
All of that stuff. I do have a few items like in my Amazon cart. My wife sees. We do talk about some stuff here and there just to make sure we're getting stuff that the other person wants. But also, we'll have conversations and everything. So my wife will get the gifts, and then she'll show my kids, and they'll be like, "All right, this is what you're getting Dad for Christmas," or I'll tell them, "This is what you're getting Mom for Christmas." So my youngest, actually, my wife bought me a blue Elite controller that was on sale for Black Friday, and then she told my youngest that it was from her. So now, as I'm playing with it right now, she'll come out and she's like, "Dad, you're using my blue controller, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm using your blue controller." So she's all excited and everything about it. And then when the battery dies and I switch to my red Elite, she's like, "Dad, you're not using my blue controller." I'm like, "It's charging right now. I gotta charge it and I'll play with it again." So
very cool. As a side note, the WWE actually has a NIL program now. I bet you didn't know that.
I did not know that. What does that entail?
It started in 2021. Basically, they're signing random athletes that are not wrestlers from, I guess, colleges. And so NIL usually stands for name, image, and likeness, right?
Yep.
So they have their own version. They dubbed it Next in Line. So they kind of did a little play on it. They've actually had some pretty good success lately getting people that were not wrestling fans growing up necessarily, like Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton, and people like that are just freak athletes, and they got them to become wrestlers, and they became very good. So you don't necessarily have to even have been a fan or to have a wrestling background. They're finding people from all over. So they have this other thing called WWE ID, which is they're scouting independent wrestlers, and they're doing the whole NIL thing with them too. Or they have like right of first refusal. They're like before they can go sign some to a different federation. So yeah, WWE is trying really hard to be like real sports. Oh, they also have a transfer portal that they're using as well.
Oh, really?
Which is something from when wrestlers go from Raw to SmackDown and backward, but they're using that same terminology. So thought you might find that a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know they were doing it that early before the rest of them.
Yeah. So that's very cool. So that's college sports 25.
Yep, EA Sports. Yeah, EA Sports College Football 2025 or 25, I guess.
Very nice. So I wanted to quickly talk about a game that my 4-player group just finished, which is the sequel to the most talked about game ever on Achievement Hunting 101, which is Moving Out 2. Now, this is a game that I played on Thursdays with Michelle and Prue and Fufu Curly Poof. And Prue was not a fan of playing this game, but in the end, we got it done. This game is on Game Pass, so no one had to pay any money for it. But it's 4-player co-op, and it's just a lot of fun. If you don't know what Moving Out is, basically you get items and you pick them up and you bring them to the truck. That sounds simple, but as the stages get harder, you have to deal with obstacles and falling and riding around in carts, and then there's other stages that involve moving in. So you have to start with the item and find the outline and put it where it belongs. So those stages are kind of annoying, but I can't tell you how many stages we did where we're like, how are we ever going to do this? And then after a few tries, we got it done. So it's always doable. I recommend it for anybody who has a group. Even if it's a 2-player group, it's probably fine. I think if you're playing with 1, 2, 3, or 4 players, the number of things you have to get changes depending on how many players you're playing with.
So
there's fewer items for fewer people.
It's not easier to do a co-op or like 4 players. It's about the same.
It's some things I'm sure are easier, but there's more of them. So I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So depending on what the objective is, each stage has a few objectives. And on TA, you could look at the objectives ahead of time, but you don't know what they are until after your first playthrough. So, for example, if you do a stage and you finish it, you might find out later that you were supposed to there's an objective for not breaking any windows or for breaking all the windows. So that kind of stuff gives you more variety and just more things to try. And once you do a certain amount of objectives, you get your fart level goes up.
Perfect.
So, yeah. And fart stands for something in the game that I, of course, don't remember right now, but it's definitely an acronym for something, something in the game. And you don't have to do all the objectives in the game, which my friends will probably be mad because I made them do them all anyway. I think you need to do 200 out of 266 total stars. But you can't be a gamer without doing what you have to do. Do them all.
So this has timed objectives and also other things. Like, do you have to get like a gold or platinum medal type thing, or how does that? You have to move things in a certain time only, or what?
Time. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Now, I'll be honest. We did use accessibility options, just like the first game. We used that because even with them on it, the game still took, I think, says 23 hours and 27 minutes. So that's probably accurate, unlike most of my games that usually don't have accurate times. Because I wouldn't keep that one sitting on the dashboard or anything like that, or in quick resume or anything like that. But yes, there's times. There's a gold time, a platinum time, a silver time. But if you put on the accessibility, you get more time to finish the level.
Okay.
And then the biggest one is that when you bring stuff back to the trucks, without accessibility, you have to stuff everything into the truck. But with accessibility, whenever you bring something to the truck, it disappears. So you don't have to load up the truck and try to make room for them all. So all of these things are optional, and you can choose to do what you want. There is a lot of humor in the game. There's a fun, like every time you enter a level, the people talk to you and there's a lot of puns in the game. So, of course, I enjoy all that stuff.
I was going to say, that sounds like a game just for you.
Yeah, it's very punny. Lots of fun stuff. So we finished moving out 2, and we started up a game called 9 Parchments, which is a 4-player twin stick RPG. And so far, we only played it once, and so far so good. I will elaborate on that one in the future, but that was one. It's actually been out for like 6 or 7 years, but it was on the buy one get two free uh, indie game sale that recently was there. So Fufu actually came up with the suggestion for this one, but it's a $20 game. So when you're buying a $20 game, that's kind of a lot, especially knowing that it's been as low as $4.99. But when you're buying 3 games for 20, it's not so bad. So, I changed gears from moving out to 9 Parchments, but I'm excited. I like playing games with my friends. And it's also nice to play games that are not shooters, because we play primarily shooters, and that gets a little tiresome after a while. And there's only so many Halos and Gears and whatever else we played, Back for Blood, and played a lot of shooters together. So if anyone has any other ideas for 4-player games, please let us know. And do you have any questions about anything?
Do you want to go over the achievements for moving out at all? Like, what do you have to do? Or is it just complete the levels? Or is there certain other objectives you got to do, or what?
So as you go, there's achievements for beating each world, I guess you can call it. There's 5 different worlds. And then there's weird ones. So like one that was Prue's favorite, there's one stage with a basketball hoop, and you have to get it in like 25 times. And so there's a lot of stuff like that. There's collectibles in each stage. Not in each stage, but there's crates, and then what they're in game, they're different skins for your characters, and you're unlocking different characters all the time. And there's arcade levels. You got to do all of those. I'm trying to look at the list, and it does the thing where it tells you what you did instead of saying, it's got like the after achievement lingo instead of the before achievement lingo.
Yeah, the requirements.
Yes, exactly.
Those are fun, but also when you're trying to talk about them, it can stink.
Yeah. Like it says, you really did smash a lot of statues, but it doesn't say that usually. It would say you smash 50 statues or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a type of game you'll get most of the achievements just for playing naturally. And then whatever you're missing, you can just go on TA and figure out what you're missing and get a guide. But yes, thank you for asking about that.
And that's one that's been in Game Pass for a while, correct? I believe it's been in there for...
Looks like... I can't believe it's been out almost 2 years. August 23.
2 years. I think it went right into Game Pass.
Healthy... Yeah, it did. It's got a very healthy TA score. It's not hard. It's probably people start it and they put it down. And it's worth 3,665 TA, which is a lot.
Oh, wow.
And I wouldn't say it's because it's difficult.
No,
I mean, I did it.
That's probably the game that just, you play for a few times and you're like, okay, I'm good. And then you move on. Unless you got like a group of friends like you do, that makes it fun playing the game.
Yeah. Like, I know Kush likes to play it by himself. I don't really see that appeal, honestly, but can be. Kind of like Borderlands. I know some people that played that by themselves and love it. Like you, I guess. Or you said you played 3 with a friend, right?
I did. I played about 80% by myself and maybe 20% with the puns.
What about 1 and 2?
One I played with a friend, and two was probably about the same thing, about 80% myself, 20% with a friend.
Interesting. There's pros and cons to both.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer group, but I could also see if they're doing something like if you're playing Borderlands and they're chatting through the cutscenes, or if they're running away from you. Like, it depends. If you have someone with a similar playstyle as you, it's way better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I highly recommend moving out too for anyone who has a co-op partner. I think you can do it locally as well as online. Achievements pop for everybody, which is not always a given. It's nice. And I'm going to move on to Game Pass news. Wildwest, if you want to read the Game Pass news for the end of January, now would be the time to do so.
Yeah, we got quite a big announcement of games coming. Starting with available now is Lonely Mountains Snow Riders. I know that was one that people were very happy was coming to Game Pass. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that throughout the coming weeks and months in the Discord. So if you want to hear about that, check it out there. Also out by the time this podcast released, you'll have Flock on Game Pass Standard. You'll have Gigantic Rampage Edition on Ultimate and Standard and PC Game Pass. You'll have Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess on Game Pass Standard. Magical Delicacy on Game Pass Standard. Tachia on Game Pass Standard. The Case of the Golden Idol also on Game Pass Standard. And Starbound is going to Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass Standard. So that'll all be on January 22nd, which is the day that we are recording. So that'll be out now. So you got those, excuse me, new games. On January 28th, we have Eternal Strands on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. And we also get Orcs Must Die Death Trap on Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. January 29th, we have Shady Part of Me for Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. And January 30th is one of the bigger ones. We get Sniper Elite Resistance on Cloud Console and PC, which is Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. So that one probably will have some DLC in the futures, just as a FYI. They do that pretty much on all their games, I believe. So be wary if that's something you don't want when you start it. We also get the Citizen Sleeper sequel, Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vectored, on Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass. That is not on cloud. That's just Xbox Series X and S and PC. That's on January 31st for that one. And then the last bit of news we had is one that I would say is a decent Far Cry game. We get Far Cry New Dawn, and that'll be on Game Pass Ultimate, Game Pass Standard, and PC Game Pass with Cloud Console and PC. So that'll be right as we calendar switches to February 4th. Any of those games that sound exciting to you?
There was one, The Shady Part of Me, that I've had on my wish list a million times, and it's always on sale for like $4, and I've never pulled the trigger. So I'm glad that
there you go.
It's coming to Game Pass.
Awesome. I like the Sniper Elite games. I didn't play 5 yet, but they're always my co-op partner and I usually run through them. So I'm looking forward to that. I already did Far Cry New Dawn, which is okay. It was just a glorified DLC for number 5. So, but looks like you got quite a bit of games coming out soon. And now we go to the Game Pass leavings. These are all leaving.
Now wait a minute.
Okay.
Before that, I was going to segue into a bit of news we learned that you can, now that you're getting all these Game Pass games, that they are adding support for hard drives that are bigger than 16 terabytes.
Yeah.
Is this necessary?
Yeah. I know some people are happy about it.
The thing that I don't understand is the games on your external don't play as well or at all. Some of them require to be on the internals. So I don't understand having a large array of backlog on the external when, generally speaking, you need the internal to play the Series X games. A lot of them now, right? Like, am I crazy? Like, it's
Well,
not
yes,
necessary.
yes, you are crazy.
Oh, thank
But
you.
well, I mean, if you lived, I mean, we're fortunate to live in cities where we have, good internet. But if you do live kind of a place where maybe the internet's a little bit slower or something, and you don't want to download these games, especially when certain games, I mean, even like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think is about 100 gigs or a little over 100 gigs. So if you didn't want to, there's nothing online about it. So if you just wanted to play it, and maybe your internet's not great, you could just keep games like that on your hard drive or whatever and just play them, because those don't need to be, unless it's like a series. I believe it's only Series XS games that are exclusive, right, to that have to follow it, I believe is what it is. So there's not like a lot of those games, but I think it's helpful for those people that maybe just basically just are kind of out in the middle of nowhere with not very good internet and want to keep their games ready to play whenever, instead of having to wait 2 or 3 days to download it. Could be helpful for them.
See, you always have a different perspective, and that's why I like talking to you.
But I mean,
I'm here saying it's unnecessary, and you're telling me how great an idea it is.
I mean, I'm not going to use it. I play games. I delete them off my hard drive. But for those people that want it, I know there are people out there that
Good
don't
idea.
have great internet, so it'll be helpful there.
True. Okay, as you were, which games is Koosh rushing to finish?
I think Koosh is rushing to finish. I don't know. I think he did Maquette. I saw recently today. But other than that, we have leaving on January 31st, Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem, which I heard got updated in the last few months or so and is now able to be completed. So if you want to get that game done, I think it's a 15 to 20 hour completion, if I believe. Yep, that's true. So that you should be able to get that done if you need to. We have Uncard, I don't know how you say that. That is an 8 to 10 hour completion. It has a TA walkthrough, and my co-op partner just said he's about to finish it, and it has accessibility options of no damage. So if that's something that you want to do to make it quicker and skip all the dialogue and stuff like that, you might be able to get it under 8 hours to finish.
Only a cheater would use that.
Yeah, that's why I saw you playing that earlier today. The next game is Darkest Dungeon. That is a 120 to 150 hour completion without the DLC packs. So you're probably not going to finish that one before. And that is a role playing turn based game. Looks like it has 2 DLCs. Yeah, 2 DLCs in there. So that'll pop it up close to 200 hours total for everything. So might be worth it just to put that on a buy sale in the future. The next game we have is Broforce. Now, Broforce has a shared list between PC and Xbox, but if you do have access to the PC version, they do allow you to put some codes in at the main screen to make it a lot easier. So with the codes, it's probably about a 2-ish hour completion, if that. If you're playing it on Xbox, I don't know the completion time. I'm probably going to estimate it's going to be somewhere between 6 to 10 hours. So, well, however you want to play it, you can. There's guides up for whatever you want to, however you want to play it. So, Broforce, yep.
I know Waka was showing off some cheaty way on the PC.
Yeah, you can put in some cheats in there to unlock all the bros, and then you can do a level skip where you basically go into the level and then you can hit Control F11 and skip the level. So there's different ways to do it. That is only available on the PC version, though. The Xbox, you cannot do it on the Xbox version, even if you hook up a keyboard into the Xbox. It does not work. The next one is Maquette. I did that last year. I did not really like the game because it has speedrun achievements, which are not terrible, but they can be a little frustrating at times. That's a 2 to 3 hour completion. It's kind of a puzzle game. So that can easily be completed as well. And the last one is a game that Kush is not going to have a part of his Game of the Year award, but he talks about it so often it should be. It's called Death's Door. So Death's Door, 15 to 20 hour completion. There is a achievement for you using the umbrella the whole time. If that's something that you want to try to get the completion on, that you're going to have to do. So then there is a walkthrough on TA. So be checking those games out if you are interested in completing any of those before they leave Game Pass.
Right. I'm gonna not do that.
You gonna chase any of those games or no?
No, I don't. That's what I mean. Yeah. As it stands. Oh, I was talking about the buy one get two. Did you buy anything from that sale?
No, I meant to look, and then I just have been busy playing Assassin's Creed and work and everything, and so I just never got a chance. And I think it ended yesterday, so I did not participate.
So we did, because we got the 9 parchments, and then I needed Untitled Goose Game because I started that on Game Pass and then it went away. And then Michelle needed the first Lonely Mountains game because I think that left Game Pass and then some title updates came out. So
yeah, it's around that
it
time.
worked out perfectly. Though they all happen to be 1999 games, so that worked out. And I saw, while we're recording this, looks like she's playing the new one, so that's awesome. I think there's some multiplayer, some co-op or multiplayer mode in there.
What game?
The new Lonely Mountains Snow Riders. So yeah, there's never a shortage of stuff to play.
Nope. Well, now that you've outed her, she has to come on the show and talk about it.
I'll make her do so.
Yeah, we're gonna go to a concert. Actually, we're going to my house to record.
Let's do it. All right, so now we're going to go to Brag Camp, and first up, we're going to talk about Big L. Big L.
Boo.
Was challenged to complete Tekken Tag Tournament 2 by community member Dunkos back in 2019, and I think neither of us touched the game for a while. But I think I would play it every time it showed up on RTDL, and just it would sit there. And I wound up with like 3 achievements left, and it sat there. Have you ever had achievements sit there because you thought they were going to be hard, and then you wound up just finishing and saying, "Why didn't I do that sooner?"
Yeah, there's been a few of those where you're like, "Oh, this is going to suck. I'm not going to do this," and then you do it, and you're like, "Oh, not too bad."
Yeah. So there was one achievement left I had for 10 survival wins in a row, and there's a detailed solution on TA to get that one done using the character Angel. And then there was one, unfortunately, that's grindy, and you basically have to get points to buy all the, you buy moves for your robot. And those achievements, I actually don't mind grinding. I like grinding achievements. I think you mentioned last week how you don't even mind going for collectibles and stuff like that. I'm the same way. I know you said Valhalla had too many, but when it's reasonable, it's fun.
Yeah.
So I finished that. It's always nice to complete a game that you started, I think I started 8 years ago. I want to say that was a Games with Gold title. So good job, Big L, finishing Tekken Tag Tournament 2. That is a mouthful. So it was very nice that I got Tekken Tag Team Tournament 2, say that 5 times fast, finished. And it's nice to get a game off the tag that I started, I think, 8 or so years ago. So in other brags, Killer Bees completed Rise of the Tomb Raider for the Xbox 360 as his 240th completion, so very nice. Isret completed Broforce before it left the Game Pass. I am sure he did the cheaty way, though, so we won't congratulate him too much. But fine, congratulations. Sarge Cassidy did Microsoft Solitaire Collection. Nicely done. Our friend Dish, who completes everything, did that Serious Sam game that you were talking about, Siberian Mayhem, for the Windows.
Yeah, no, he did both of them.
He probably did
the stack of it.
Yeah, he probably did one with each foot, like at the same time. I could see him doing something like that. And Mental said that he finished all of Forza Horizon 5, except for the multiplayer. So he's in the almost camp. And Wakapel finished Launcher Heroes. I'm pretty sure he made a gaming session on TA and he helped some people out and he got that done. And he's the 31st person on the site to complete it. Very nice. So good job, everybody. If you want to get back in the habit of tagging me, that would be awesome.
Well, what else did Wakapale do, though, too?
He changed his kid's diaper, he said. That was a pretty big accomplishment as far as I know. I must be forgetting something.
He's number one in Battle Royale with...
that's please. Come on. No one cares. Yeah, he played the demonic Fortnite, so he deserves to be number one.
Yeah. Well, I think they changed Forza.
Yes, they changed Forza into Battle Royales.
Yeah. So I know you said you didn't look a lot at your site leaderboard finishes for the year. I want to shout out Isret and myself because we actually finished 1 and 2, I believe. Sorry, not 1 and 2, but back to back is what I should. I was going to say that'd be something else. Back to back is what I meant to say. He was 201 for gamer score for the year, and I was 202. Yeah, not what I meant to say actually, but ended up in the top 500 of Achievements 1 leaderboard, top 100 in visual novels.
Nice.
So some of the ones that was probably from that crazy month that I did a long time ago. But anything you saw for yourself at all, or
I closed my tab and it disappeared from my notifications.
You should be able to go on TA. You can go to your notifications and you can hit view all.
Yeah.
And then if it's not there, it's usually archive. You could try going to archive and see if you accidentally did that or not. But why don't you look that up and I'll give you some homework. And you did. Okay. I was going to say you could tell us next time.
But it was nothing to write home about because instead of focusing on one genre or one thing, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of top 1000s and stuff like that, which doesn't sound too interesting, but there's hundreds of thousands of people on TA. So we're going to pretend that I did a good job because I'm in the top 1,000 of a lot of things.
Oh, you did do a good job.
Oh, thanks. You're such a nice man.
Yeah, so listeners, tag us with your. I know a lot of people did, but continue to keep tagging us with that stuff because that's fun to see what you did on your brags for the 2024 year. I always enjoy looking at them.
I was in the top 3,000 of most gamer score without even trying for it.
With all the baby games you play, you try for
it. Yes, that's true. So it looks like there's 875,000 TAers now, so that's a lot. I remember when there was only a couple 100,000. It's almost 1 million. Good math. You trying to doubt me?
I thought they were over 1 million now, but maybe I was wrong.
All right. When I go to completed games, for example, I see 875,925 gamers. And I was ranked 2,165 in completed games. See, I'm so good.
Yeah. Did you ever do the My Xbox thing for the 2024?
I don't think so. It'll just tell me that I'm playing Fortnite. I don't know, or some Minecraft or something that my kids play. That's usually what happens when I do that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But I should try. Actually, my son doesn't really play games on my tag anymore. He's a big man. He's a big boy now. He plays a lot of Steam games now.
Own stuff, yeah.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Is there anything else we need to discuss before leaving everyone adieu? Bidding everyone adieu.
I don't think so.
Any brags you want to brag about?
Nope, not yet.
Yet. All right, I'm sure you'll think of something. All right, please join the conversation and hit us up in the Discord. The podcast discussion room is always looking for discussion about the podcast, as it were. Good luck to your football teams if you're in the Final Four. I was rooting hard for the Ravens, and the less said about that, the better. But
I'm pretty sure Fufu wants to hear more about it.
Oh, Fufu, what happened? So I can't root for the Eagles living where I live, and the Chiefs. I used to like the Chiefs, but now they're kind of boring. So I don't know. What do you think? Commanders Super Bowl?
That would be crazy considering where they've been at the last 5-7 years, somewhere there.
That would be crazy. Commanders and the Bills. But the Bills usually lose 4 times in a row, so yeah. Anyway, enjoy the championship games. Hopefully, I'll be back to discuss the Super Bowl. And you could sim the Super Bowl in your college game, right? That's how this works?
No.
Oh. Well, you can sim the Mets in MLB 25 hopefully soon.
But why would I need to sim that when the Dodgers won in real life?
Oh, they keep signing everybody. Tell them to stop.
We're only doing what the Yankees did.
No, it's different. They have all this deferred money. Okay. It's a little different. You have to admit. Otani's like, I don't need this money here. Sign some other people. I'll take $2 million. Yeah. That's all. All right. Well, hit us up in the Discord. And patrons, thank you as always for being awesome. And if you'd like to come up with some new questions or some new ideas, hit us up in our super secret patron room. All right. Thank you, Wild West. I am Big L, and class is dismissed. Bye.
See ya. Hello, and welcome, Achievement Hunters, to a special segment because we had the Xbox Developer Direct recently happen, and I wanted to bring in my favorite Koosh Moose to discuss the special announcements we have. Welcome,
I didn't know you knew other. Thank you, but I didn't know you knew other Koosh Mooses.
Oh, I know a grand total of 1 Koosh Moose, unless you've had someone try to steal your name tag.
Not yet, no.
Not yet? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
I had one person in the 360 era message me and offer me like $20-$30 or something for my tag because they wanted. And I was like, nice. No, I'm good.
You should hit him up. It's probably worth more now.
Yeah, yeah, actually, that's true. If he gave my whole catalog and everything, it'd be worth a whopping amount of money. But
yes.
Anyways, welcome to the Developer Direct.
Thank you, and I love watching those. By the way,
yeah, I was going to say, what is your overall opinion before we get into the games?
I thought number one, I thought it was well done. It was to the point. There was no kind of like excessive things like they used to do a couple years back where they'd have just a whole bunch of talking and boring stuff. It's just trailers or just like special features that they've got with the developers. It was really cool. And I thought this one was just jam-packed. I thought everything was solid. Like, I liked everything I saw.
Now, is this the second year they've done it this way with the developers and the interviews and all that stuff, right?
Well, they definitely did. Yeah, I mean, this is at least the second time they've done it like this. Maybe the third time, but my memory is spotty. But I would say this is at least the second or third time they've done this.
Yeah, because I know they did. I mean, obviously, yeah, we know that they've done this for many years, but doing a January developer direct, I believe this is the second year, but we'll get corrected if we're wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
like always. But anyways, I really liked it too. I really enjoy these kind of smaller shows like this. The E3 shows are great. It's it's nice to build up the hype, especially in the summer when it's kind of more the doldrums of the video game industry during that time when people are out doing other stuff, whatever. But having these interviews with the developers and certain people in those studios, I think is fun. It's nice to hear their passion for it. And even some of their cringy jokes or lame jokes at the time. But anyways, yeah, I enjoy it. And I think that they should do this. I think they should kind of find a time in the fall as well, with E3 kind of being something big.
It feels like that's what they're going to do. These are like more hyper-focused for the next 6 months. And E3 is like a longer view out, and it's it's more encompassing. So this seems, especially with all the release dates we're about to hear about, or that we're about to share that we heard. I feel like this is just like a first half of the year. Like, here's what you're getting, and very exciting to see it and know you're getting it in 6 months at the most.
Yeah, no spoilers at all here for sure. You're trying to spoil all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in. The show started off with a big bang. I think a lot of people thought that we were going to hear more of the other stuff at the end of the show, this surprise announcement, but they decided to start it first. So, Koosh, you're up.
Yeah, they showed the 3 games that they had talked about, and then there was a fourth blank spot, and they just immediately zeroed in on that. And what was it but Ninja Gaiden 4, with developer Team Ninja and Platinum Games working together. And it's published by Xbox Game Studios. I'll just go ahead and do the release date because, that's just the way it is. Fall 2025. So we're going to get this in the fall, and it's a day one Game Pass. If you're not familiar with the Ninja Gaiden games on the 360 and the Xbox, they are hack and slash games. They're really pretty. I mean, they're not your 2D side scrolling like they were on the NES. These are 3D hack and slash. I started playing them before I was an achievement hunter, so I didn't really tear them apart, right? I didn't go from like cover to cover and just get all the achievements in them. I think that they're a little bit difficult, but if this is your type of thing, awesome. And it looks great. You're going to be playing as a new protagonist by the name of Yakumo, and he's from a rival clan to the Hayabusa clan. So it's the Raven clan. You will also be playing as Ryu Hayabusa later in the game, it seems like, and they didn't really show much footage of you playing as Ryu. It was all about Yakuma, but then at the end they kind of mentioned that, like, and you can play. They kind of like, it was almost like they were not saying that you could play him at all, and at the very end they kind of said, or you got 2 different play styles. It's like, okay, so maybe after you beat the game, you go back through as Ryu. I'm not really sure, but they said that he will play a pivotal role in the story. So, okay, whatever. Ryu fans, you get more Ryu. It adds, just from the combat that I was able to see, I can see that they've added some new moves, like rail sliding, a huge rail sliding segment. I don't know if that's like going to be your on-rail shooter type thing, or if that's just movement, or if that's part of exploration. I don't really know, but it's a big part of the trailer that they showed. There's also this hook shot swing, and it doesn't look like you can just like hook shot up to things. It looks for the most part like you're just swinging off of stuff. Like one time he was doing a wall run to a hook shot and a swing, and then landed down to fight some enemies. So I don't know how much that's going to be exploration or how that's going to feel, but they've added stuff to it is what I'm really going for here. It's not just a reskin of Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 or whatever the most recent one is. It looks like they've really gone ahead and added some new features. And I'm kind of excited for it. I don't think anybody was asking for Ninja Gaiden 4. I think this is all just, hey, these guys make really good looking games, and it's good hack and slash. Let's just do it. Along that line, they shadow dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is a remake of the 2008 original for the 360. That's also a hack and slash game. And they said that they modified it a little bit. So it's not going to be true to the 2008 classic. They've added some, I think they said some movements or some attacks from the newer Ninja Gaiden 4. They said that they added some sort of, I guess, elements from Sigma 2 as well. So if you're a fan of the series, there's going to be a slightly reworked Ninja Gaiden 2 Black just waiting for you in your download queue right now. It was available. I started playing it the day of the developer direct at night. I just downloaded it and I kicked into it. I played about an hour to 2 hours at the most, and I got like 12 achievements. They come fast and furious at the beginning. But yeah, so I don't know that I'll complete this one, get every achievement, but it is fun going back. I saw a funny comment. The best enemy in Ninja Gaiden 2 is the camera. So, and it does kind of feel like that. So while they updated a bunch of stuff, hopefully they've made major strides in Ninja Gaiden 4's camera, because the camera in 2 Black is not the best. But there you go. That's Ninja Gaiden Game 1.
Yeah, it seems like they did a good job. I guess I'll say, before I say that, I know of Ninja Gaiden, but I'm not a big fan of the series. I'm not a big hack and slash guy. And so I'll be interested to hear what Elle has to think, because I know he's played those quite a bit and talks about them. But it was nice to see them doing that remake and then putting it on Game Pass right away and kind of having that fun little tidbit. And I would say that, as I was watching it on YouTube on my computer, a lot of people were excited in those comments to see another Ninja Gaiden. So I think there is some hype there a little bit for it. So hopefully it'll be, and it is coming to other platforms at the end. So it's not just an Xbox thing, but I think it'll be a good get for Game Pass Studios at the end of the year. So. All right. Another one they showed was they gave a little more deep dive into Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I know X is really looking forward to that game. This is from Sandfall Interactive, which is their first game. It is published by Kepler Interactive, which did Flintlock, that was released last year on Xbox Game Pass. So a little bit of history there with that. But one of the biggest announcements we got was that it was going to be releasing on April 24th. So pretty soon here, in about the next 2 months or so, we're going to be getting it, hopefully, unless there's another delay at all. But it should be coming out here soon. Now, as a quick recap, this is an RPG. It looks possibly like a turn-based RPG. Is that kind of the feeling that you got?
That's what I got from it. It's kind of like a turn-based yet active, reactive, I think they called it.
Yeah, reactive
gameplay. So kind of like Paper Mario, but not like Paper Mario, because this thing is like bombastic, like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because I saw some counter moves and everything on there. So, I mean, obviously you have to kind of react. You don't just sit there and one person takes the turn, another person takes the turn, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 67 years ago, a paintress, she wakes up, she paints a number, everyone in that age dies, and then they send expeditions to find this paintress and to stop her. None have returned. So now this is the next expedition, and it looked like the age that she's going to paint is 33, and that's what I'm guessing.
I feel like they're going to stop her this time. I feel like this is the time.
Hopefully. So it looks like a dark story, but it also has, looks like it have some good team play, interactions with it. The world looks pretty bright and colorful. It's set in kind of a alternate France, I guess, is what I saw. So I'm looking forward to it too. It does look like one of those things that would be something I would enjoy and everything. So I would say that April 24th, 2025 can't come soon enough, so we can hopefully get to our hands on this game and see how it looks and all that stuff. But looks like there'll be some great world building, and as our first game, hopefully it'll come out and be not very buggy or anything, and we'll just be able to enjoy this this new world RPG that we have. So that was clear. Oh,
yeah. Sorry, it was a. Was not really blown away by Clair Obscure Expedition 33, not really knowing what to see, but everything I saw that they showed, my hype just kept building. Like everything they showed, I was like, oh wow. And then to find out, yeah, it's their first game. Like this is a really impressive first game outing, and I am actually excited now. I'm really kind of will I play it? Will I complete it? I don't know, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited to check it out and then hear what other people say as well.
I was going to say, let me get on your game tag on True Achievements and check out RPGs and see.
No, don't do that. You just need a really tiny screen for that.
Yeah, but I will say it does look good, and I am excited for it. And so I hope that it's one of those games that will come out and be a huge success for Game Pass, like Indiana Jones was. You know, those ones. We just need different games to satiate people, and hopefully they'll be able to, be happy with what they have on Game Pass. So one of the other games they showed some more in was South of Midnight, which I know there's a certain Moose that is excited for that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is, I hate to overuse the phrase, but this is my game of the year contender. Like, this is the one I've been super excited for. South of Midnight, developer Compulsion Games. Now, they've done Contrast and they've done We Happy Few. Both, for their time, Contrast looked fantastic. We Happy Few also looked fantastic. But I don't think the gameplay was really there for We Happy Few. Publishers Xbox Game Studios. What I want to say is that through everything I have seen, and I've tried to do it out of the corner of my eye because I don't want to know, because that's how excited I am about this game. I just don't want them to spoil any of the story elements. I want it to all be fresh and explored and discovered by me and not be a trailer. But everything I've seen with the action and the platforming, this thing looks like a hit. And it looks like it's so much better than We Happy Few, but it looks as good as that. They use this really cool stop motion inspired animation style. So if you think like Spider-Man Into the Multiverse and Across the Multiverse, it's that where they animate on the twos. It looks very cool. I think they do it really well. And I'm just blown away by the music and just the atmosphere. This thing is, my expectations are just so high for this game. I hope that I'm not setting myself up for a fall, but I think it's going to be a solid game no matter what. Just is my expectation too high? This is a third-person action adventure. You play as Hazel, and when disaster strikes your hometown, you're called to become a weaver, which is a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. And I think it probably has something to do with running through her family. Like, this is a family tradition thing, because she finds these implements in her attic that allow her to, direct her magic. That allows her to control the magic or whatever. It's got platform abilities like the wall run. It looks like you're also making elements, or not elements, but you're making, obstacles or things that will interact with the environment to allow you to get through areas. It's got, they say it's a dark modern folk tale, which has me excited. And what we've seen and what they said in the trailer, the landscapes that you're going to see, it's not just all going to be swamps, it's not all going to be boring. It's going to be a combination of swamps, farmlands, and the Appalachian Mountains. So it'll be, I'm very excited by that. I like the fact that we're not just going to see one tile set or one, area. I could not be higher on this game, and just everything about it, the music, the animation style, the fact that it's action adventure. This is just, I'm in love with this game. South Midnight, game of the year contender.
Would you say this is the game that you're looking forward to the most this year? Or is there another one? Right
now, yes. This is the game I am most looking forward to, partly because, once again, my memory, but at the tip of my mind, this is the only game I can think of that fills that number one spot.
Well, I think they did a good job of kind of showcasing a little bit more about what the game was, because the last impression we have was from, I believe, E3 last year, correct?
I think they did. I think they've released some developer diaries since then, because I avoided them. But I think some of that footage worked its way into this developer direct, because they were talking about the platforming abilities.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was good to see kind of a little bit more, because I know when I believe it was E3 last year, they kind of showed a little bit more about the game, and some people were like, well, I don't really know what to expect from this, and that was kind of the growing consensus, is like, well, we don't really know how to feel because you're not showing us enough for us to form an opinion, and they kind of changed that up, which they needed to, because the game's coming out soon, that they needed to kind of show more about the gameplay, more about the combat, and I thought they did a good job teasing it and not really kind of going too much in depth with it.
Yeah, when they first announced it was just that trailer of her kind of walking along the dock in the swamp, and there's a skeleton guy, mariachi type guy playing the guitar, banjo or something, I can't remember. But it had nothing. It showed you nothing about the game. So you're like, oh, is this an RPG? Is this action? What is it? Is this a card game? I don't know. Is this Hidden Cats? I don't know. And so it's good to know that it's action adventure. I don't think I mentioned the release date. This is April 8th, 2025. So assuming that there's no pushback, no delays, we'll be playing this very soon.
Yeah, April 8th for South of Midnight. And then 3 weeks later, you get Clair Obscure. I mean, April is stacked.
It's going to be crazy. And then also with what you have to tell us, even crazier.
Yeah. I would say, because that E3 trailer was kind of, they showed a little bit of her transversing to different areas, but they didn't, and they showed just a titch of combat, but they didn't really go into depth. And so it was good to kind of see, because you did see a little bit of the alligator in that trailer last year. But this one kind of, you didn't know what the whole story was. This kind of delved a little bit more into the story and say, hey, this is what her kind of mission is. This is what she wants to do. Here's some of the things you're going to have to do in the area, which, I don't want to go too much into detail because you said you want to be surprised, but they did kind of show a little bit about what you're going to be doing and what you're going to have to accomplish in different areas. And then they said, this is kind of the combat, and you're going to be learning stuff as you go, and you're going to get more stuff. You're going to need to find some upgrades and all that stuff. So I thought they did a good job of showcasing it without really getting too in depth where you're going to spoil things.
Yeah. I think it looks great. I mean, they showed combat with multiple enemies, so you're not just going one-on-one. They showed boss fights, and they even talked about, in this developer direct, they talked about the boss fights and how everything going into the boss fights is connected, and the music kind of hypes up as well. As you go to different stages of the boss fight, the music ramps up with it. I'm very excited about this game. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it does look something that's interesting. And so we're going to have, an idea just came to me. What's even crazier is we did this developer direct, and we said, hey, this is what's coming in April. We're going to have Doom coming out May 15th, 2025, Doom the Dark Ages, for day one Game Pass. And they didn't even address Avowed, which is coming out next month.
Oh,
so you get Avowed in February. You just got Indiana Jones in December. I don't understand how people are complaining about Game Pass. There's 500 games on there. You have stuff to last you forever.
Yeah. The promise of Game Pass is hitting now. It's like the promise we were told before is delivering in the first half of 2025 for sure. And hopefully it keeps up like this.
Yeah.
This pace would be impossible to keep, I think. But like this, if we can get half of this as we keep going, that'll be good.
Yeah. I think we're kind of seeing more. We'll see more stuff for this year because of things getting delayed and everything. But ZeniMax has 15, 16 studios, so they should be able to pump out a few games every year. Then you have Xbox Game Studios with their stuff, and then Activision now and all their stuff. So you should be able to keep up, I think, a pretty good pace. But yes, so like I hinted at, Doom the Dark Ages is coming May 15th, 2025, day one Game Pass. Developer id Software. I am so excited for this game. I played the 2016 one. I absolutely loved it. I played, I think last year, I think it was 2 years ago. I played the sequel, Doom Eternal. It was a very solid entry, but it did have some stuff I did not like. And to me, it was very humorous because they came out in the video that they did, and they said, we're not doing any of that traversal stuff like we did in Doom Eternal. It's like, thank you. You guys listen to the fans. We did not like that. And it seems like they are crafting a nice first-person shooter game that's just, put down your thoughts, just go have fun, blow away demons, and let's do something different this time. Let's put it in a medieval setting. I am so excited for that. My wife was even intrigued by it when I was watching it, and she was just happened to catch some of that and everything. So they went into a little bit of it, and then they also released some details after the fact because the developer direct only had a certain amount of time for it. One of the big things they did was they talked about the redesigning the glory kill system. So all of that stuff I think is going to go back to more about how Doom 2016 works, where you get kills, you get from the kills, you get health, you get ammo. Whereas in the Eternal, I think it was more of you find it and then you had to kind of deal with whatever you had in the area, and you could run out of stuff a little bit quicker. They did show with the tweet afterwards. I don't know. I might have missed it with kids running around or something, but there will be difficulty sliders in there, so you can kind of customize your campaign to how you want to play it. So we'll be interested to see if they'll do anything different with achievements on that. But as far as difficulty sliders, you can kind of play how you want to play.
I actually paused it so I could see what those sliders were. Their game speed, the parry window, the timing for parries, damage done, damage received, projectile speed, enemy aggression, and also resource values. So if you hate running out of ammo, bump that bad boy up. And
all the way.
Yeah, but exactly. What's that going to do for achievements? Hopefully nothing.
I hope so too. And but whatever they do, I'm still going to be playing this, and hopefully, they did show the collector's edition, which I'm eyeing right now because my birthday's next month, and I usually get myself something for my birthday that might be my treat to myself this year. We'll see. But if you do get the collector's edition or the deluxe edition, I believe you get 2 days early access is one of the perks. So I'll have to decide that quickly. In the video, they also showed that you're going to be piloting a giant mech. So you did that briefly in the last game. So I will be interested. I think this video kind of showed that you'd be doing it a little more frequently. So that'll probably be a big part of the story. And then another new thing that they showed is that you're going to be traversing the area with a dragon at times. So I'm interested to see how that kind of plays out, because Doom has very much been you start at point A and you need to get to point B. And that's pretty much what you're doing, is just going from A, killing a bunch of demons, opening up doors, and going to point B. Is this going to be more open world? Is this going to be more side quest type stuff? Or is it just going to be more like, again, just adding the dragon just because they wanted to add something a little different? I'm interested to see. What are your thoughts on the dragon?
So I thought that the mech looked pretty cool, and I thought the dragon looked pretty cool. But to me, I was getting the the Gears of War vibe from it. Like, oh, this is one level. This is 2 levels. But then they specifically addressed that and said, no, this is not a one-off experience. I mean, they're like skill trees and like upgrades for these things. So you're going to be using them more than once, obviously, if you can upgrade them and change things about them. It really, I was getting the sense by the end of the video, and I think they hinted, without just coming right out and saying that it's open world, it feels kind of like, Halo,
Halo Infinite.
Thank you. Halo Infinite seems more like Halo Infinite in design than just like a regular Halo. Like, this is not just, level 1 leads to level 2, leads to level 3. I think maybe it's like a hub area, and you can choose which way you want to go, because they mentioned choice of how you want to progress. So I feel like this might be open world.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear more about it, because they did release some more details after the fact about some stuff that I thought was interesting. One, they're dropping multiplayer completely. So there is no multiplayer in this game, which I'm with you there. I did not like. That was the least favorite aspect of the original game. They had no achievements or nothing on Eternal, and so I didn't even bother with it. I just don't see the point. The gameplay was dead in 2016 for it pretty quickly, and so having to go through it and boosting parties and stuff like that was not fun to finish that. So I'm very happy because they're coming out and saying it's the largest, most expansive, and epic campaign we've ever seen in a Doom game. So I'm interested in that. And then I did not hear the stuff about upgrading the dragon or the mech. So it does kind of point to more than just kind of like that Gears of War one-off level at the end where you're just playing in the mechs, that this might be something that you have to do. So guess we'll be looking forward to that. They did go a little bit into, because with every Doom game, they usually bring in a couple new weapons. So the big one this time is the shield. Looks like it can kind of be like a saw. It can kind of, protect you from incoming damage and everything. So I think that looks pretty cool. I think it looks like there's kind of a parry system with it. So I'm definitely interested in that. And then, it's Doom. It's just a bunch of shooting things and killing things in different ways. It looks so much fun. I'm very excited with it. So, that was the developer showcase that we have. I liked that it was short. I liked that it was to the point, like you said earlier, and that it was, highlighting 4 games that are going to come out at the beginning of the year, or I guess before E3 was probably be their next big, conference that we'll have or showcase that we'll have. Yeah, so I was happy to see them kind of focus on these. I was a little sad that with Avowed coming out next month, supposedly, that we didn't see that at all, but is there anything that you missed or would have liked to see?
Oh gosh, what I'd like to see. Well, Ori 3. I don't know when they're ever going to talk about that. No, I mean, once I heard that South of Midnight was on the show, that's all I wanted to hear about. And my mind locked in. I couldn't think of anything else I wanted to see. So I'm just, like I said, very glad that's coming soon. And then who knows what we'll see after that. But yeah, from beginning to end, I liked everything I saw. They may not all be my cup of tea and like the thing I'm, dying to play, but I think they all look solid and, no management to be seen, which is great. All looks like action. It looks like something I could fire every single one of these games up and play them at least a little bit and get some play out of them. So for me, it's a hit.
You heard it here first. Koosh wants a Doom management game, managing a bunch of Doom guys against demons.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let us know what your thoughts are on the developer direct, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you wish you would have saw. I thought they did a great job. It sounds like Koosh thought they did a great job. So let us know your thoughts about it in podcast discussion. And thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.